So there is a question here.
Yeah.
Someone is saying, Mwango, why do you find it so offensive for someone to pass a compliment over someone's cooking? You know, in everything, it's the way that things are said and the way they come across. If maybe you were around that time, you feel, because one of the things that being rude makes is you feel embarrassed. Someone embarrasses you in the presence of other people. So you are so embarrassed that someone is digging into this. Yes, it was very nice and it was good. Or you could say, oh, ma'am, this is so beautiful. Oh, I'm enjoying this food. But to go to an extent of this, I've never had this before. Oh, this is nice. Oh, I've never eaten this before. Is, you know, like Adrian said, it's like you are saying, and I've done something like that, but probably not to that level. So it's like someone is saying, this one knows how to cook better than you know. So so I'm not.
I'm glad she never answered, because if she did, she would probably have said, well, from today onwards, you should be eating in this house.
Yes.
True. I'm not ever going to make food for you. You have to come here and eat.
I should have gone to that extreme.
But I'm lucky she didn't do that, so that's good.
Yeah.
So I mean, the other example, we'll hear from you very soon, I'm sure, what examples you may have come up with. But the other example is, you know, having an argument with your spouse in the presence of others. I think that comes across as rude, either side, either husband or wife. You know, you disagree about something, and then there are people there, and all of a sudden you have an argument. You know, it's embarrassing to the person that you're having an argument with, maybe the person that thinks, oh, we can talk about this at home. It's embarrassing to the people that are looking at you. They're like, don't you have a better place where you can talk about this than in here, you know? So it's an embarrassment, and no one wants to be in the company of someone that is embarrassing. Someone that is, you know, that rude. Intentionally decides to hate someone's feelings. So so etc. You can fill in the blanks. I'm sure there are so many ways that we come across as, you know, being rude. And
that's true.
Love is not rude. Love is not rude. Now, on the contrary,
so maybe before we move away from being rude, so like we were saying here, oftentimes I think people hide in saying, I was just joking. But it's good to have laughter, like we've been having laughter here. It's an antidote for us to even to some illnesses and everything. It's good to laugh. However, some cutting humor, some humor which is cutting, some humor which is detrimental, which doesn't build after the humor has been said, is not good. But the humor which builds, which you feel light-hearted, it builds. That humor is encouraged, but not the one which cuts. That one is not good. It's not helpful. It comes across as being rude, but you're hiding it. No, I was just joking about it. So we see a lot of it. Even sometimes you'll be eating with other people, and then the other person is looking at the plate of the husband and saying, oh, that's a lot of food. Oh, you know, you are controlling your weight or something. So all those things are really not so good.
They're not very good. So you can see from just what we have, you know, talked about from when we began talking about, you know, at the altar where we promised to love. So you can see from everything that we've talked about up until this point, you can see that it takes more to love than just the feeling of, you know, just that strong feeling of affection on that particular day, because that's the thing that rules the world at that point. But it takes more. So it takes you not being patient, it takes you being kind, it takes you not being rude. And not being rude is making sure that you intentionally behave in a certain way. So on the contrary, love is intentionally behaving in a pleasant way towards the spouse.
Which is good. You know, like in this culture, can I just briefly before you go? In this culture, there are so many ways that we see ourselves to be rude. You know, when you're in a queue for the bus, you jump, or even in a queue in a shop, you jump. All those are being rude. And this is where the culture aspect comes in. So it's very important to study the culture where you are. And even in the home, because once we don't have those etiquettes, those manners, we bring the same attitude even in the home.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe waiting for the other person to take, you want to take first, and you can't wait. It's like you are scrambling for things. So it can be outside, but things that we do, wherever we do them, if we don't develop a consistent pattern of manners or a consistent pattern of etiquette, they will still be transferred back in the house.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we watch what we are doing and we study the cultures where we are.
Yeah. So love is not rude. So what does this look like? So love minds. So love minds the words that we use towards our spouse. So we have to mind the words that we use. We have to mind how we come across towards our spouse, our manners, our behavior. So it should be the kind of behavior that should make your spouse comfortable in your company. And it should be the sort of words that when you use, they are gracious.
Yes.
They are gentle. They are thoughtful.
Yeah, they feel valued.
Yeah, so someone feels valued and not devalued.
Yes.
So, you have to use words and behaviors that place value on the other person, your spouse, and respect. So love behaves with, now the other aspect is, the way we behave out there.
Yes.
Sometimes is not the way we behave inside.
Yes. Yeah.
And we are saying we're talking about love. This love must be genuine love.
Yes.
Not something that we are trying to portray to the people out there as the best couple, and yet inside is completely different. So love is behaving with your spouse in private. The way, or speaking with your spouse in private, the way you would speak to your spouse when you are with your friends, or when you are in the company of strangers, the way we talk to strangers, and the way we talk to friends, is the same way that we need to be talking to our spouse in private, because it can be easier to do it in public, but would it be easier to do it privately? And that's the challenge that we need to give to ourselves. The challenge is trying to come across as trying to have the right manners, trying to have the right words, trying to to place the right type of value on our spouse in private, not just in public. So the question I wanted to pose to all of us is, how do we treat our spouse in private?
Or our friends, those that are not married, our friends, our children, how do we treat them?
In private.
Yeah, in private.
Not
so
in
that's
public.
A question to answer.
So that's just something to think about.
Yes.
That's something to ponder. So so we have to treat our spouses differently, like we are looking at the way we need to treat them with love. Now I'll just quickly again share the positive side of my experience with my wife.
Mwango.
And with Mwango, of course. Yes. She's reminded me. She loves reminding me.
I don't like being called my wife.
Yeah, so how does it feel? Does it
rude?
Really?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, does it make you feel ancient or something?
No, it's all right. That's just my love language. I just like being called by my name.
Yeah. So some of the examples of some good manners, or some courtesy,
manners,
ways that you can place value on your spouse.
Yeah, good.
Some things that I have learned and which I try to do, and which I think I would comfortably challenge. I think the men. I am speaking now as a man. And I think I would comfortably challenge the man. I think there is another challenge that I'll pose to the men. But the challenge I would give to the men is one of the things that I have been trying to, and I never, how do I put it?
Conscious.
No, I didn't know about that.
Yes.
But how did I come to know? Okay, I've learned a number of things by looking at other people and also by being taught. So one of the things that I've been reminded over and over, which now I have learned and I try to do consistently, is when we go, like we are having a dinner and then we are there. You know, it's just good manners.
Yeah.
You know, you walk in there with your wife. You know, you go for a wedding. You know, you pull the chair.
Yes.
For your wife
Thank
to
you.
sit. Yeah, and then she sits, and then you help her to sit comfortably.
Yes.
And then you pull your own chair. It's just some courtesy. I think it's I think it also comes across as being very lovely.
Yes.
And I think women would love that. Let's hear from women that wouldn't love their man to just move a chair for them and then sit nicely.
Yeah.
And then push it nicely. So if there's anyone that would not enjoy that, we would love to hear from you. Just yes, say something so that we know that you wouldn't enjoy
that. That's just manners. Of course, it feels good. Those are the manners we're talking about.
So the other thing which she kept on communicating to me, which now I've learned, is when she sits down, you know, I pull the chair and then she sits down and it's cold and she's got this coat and then she's trying to take the coat off and she's like struggling and she's and then, you know, in those days I'll just sit there and just look at her struggle to, you know, but now I have learned to try and you know, just help take the coat off and just hang it there.
Yes.
And I think that comes across as being lovely.
Yes, it's
I think
good.
That's lovely. The other thing that I have learned, which I do, which I've tried to do consistently, is you know, one time I think we had the privilege of you know, traveling with
Bishop Ngambi,
well, I'm sure
and Mami Isabel Ngambi.
I'm sure they would not mind if we said this.
No, she doesn't.
She wouldn't mind.
No,
and,
even him.
And even him wouldn't mind. You know, we went to visit them and then we got there, we finished everything and then they said, okay, we'll give you a lift. And then we got there, we got to the car, and then I just walked over to the other side, opened my door, and then just got inside. And then he looked at me, and then he walked to the other side and opened for Mami.
Ngambi,
and
Mami Isabel, yeah.
And then he looked at me and he said, oh, who is going to open for her? And I was like, oh, okay. I said, and then this is not someone, you know, like a kid or something. This is the bishop.
Yes.
You know, and if anything, he is the one who should jump in there, and then the wife jumps in, and
then you open the doors for everyone. You should have been the one to open the doors for the bishop and everyone, and you went and sat.
I mean,
and I was like, wow.
It's the same thing. I mean, we had you know, our dad Bishop Sakala also. We had the privilege of you know, when they came to visit, you know, we had the privilege of, you know, being with them. So we got into the car, we picked them up, and then I noticed that every time he was coming, walked over to the other side, and then, you know, we are getting into the car and he opens, and then mom gets in and she sits comfortably, and then he closes, and then he walks the other side, he sits, and then we stop, and then he comes out again, he opens, and then I was just looking at him, and I was like, wow. Now, those were really challenging moments for me. Yeah. And from that moment, I said, okay, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And I started doing it, started practicing it. I opened the door for her every time, and I close, I open, and well,
yes. You are still going along.
I'm still going. Sometimes I forget.
You forget, especially when he's already sitting. And maybe I went out and then I'm coming back, you'll just be sitting and I'm thinking, there you go. Or sometimes when I'm coming out, actually the two bishops we are talking about have gone an extra mile. I want to challenge men, some of you men there as well. Let's see how you can go an extra mile. Even when they are coming out, Mom Isabel doesn't step out of the car until dad opens for her. Men, come on, let's have some courtesy. Let's have some love from you.
Okay, leave that one to me. As I said, I was going to challenge
the men. That's fine. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
Okay, so that's those are some of the things, I think, the manners, you know, the behaviors, which come across as and you know, sometimes like when we go shopping and I'm looking at all these men, and they're just jumping in the car, and the wife jumps in, and they carry on, and I'm looking at all this. And then I also look at some of our friends when, like, I go and I open the door for her, and they're just like, wow,
I know.
and and I'm just like, wow. It's it's a lovely thing. It's a good thing.
Yes, it adds value to you, and it adds value to me. Now I know Aunt Maureen will not even get. I know she'll tell me afterwards that I kept on cutting, and I kept on finishing sentences for you. She says one of the ways that we portray being rude and bad manners is finishing off sentences for our spouses or for our friends. How many of us are guilty of that?
Yeah,
I'm the only one.
Let's see the hands.
Am I the only one who are rude? We need to change that one. Finishing off sentences for other people.
Quickly. So why would a spouse be rude? I think there are only two reasons. One, it's either ignorant. Or ignorance. Yeah. They are ignorant. Like in the case where I was just going on about the food, genuinely, hand on heart, as they say, I was ignorant. But now I know better. So ignorance. So someone can be forgiven for ignorance, but try and communicate to them and say no. The second thing is selfishness. Just being selfish. You are full of yourself. You're just thinking about you. You are just you and yourself and you. Selfishness. So I don't think there's any more reasons that we can give other than just those. So how can you know?
Question to you guys.
So how can you know if you are a rude spouse? Now I know we've got some people here that have joined us. They are a spouse. There's a couple, husband and wife. And then we know also that there are those of you that maybe your husband is not here or your wife is not here, and then, but the question is, how can you know that you are being rude? Is there any way that you would know that you are, you come across as being rude?
So you can either ask your spouse. So have some homework to do today. When you meet, or your family, friends, or whoever, just ask, when I'm communicating with you, do I come across as being rude? And check if your spouse is uncomfortable in your company. Do they feel uncomfortable?
Do they feel twitchy when you start saying something? They're like, oh, what's he gonna say now?
Yes. We need to create that environment. So how can we?
And how can we be more loving and less rude towards our spouse? How can we begin to improve, say, from today? I mean, I've shared with you some of the things that have been, that I have repeatedly been reminded of, and I keep, and have now, at least I can confidently say, when we go somewhere, I will remember at least to pull the chair. I'll remember to take the coat off. I'll remember to open the door. When she's getting in, maybe I might forget to open it when she's coming out, but I'll try and work on that one. So how can we?
So I think there is one. There is one which is very, very crucial. Thank you so much, Frida, for this one. When we said, why would a spouse be rude? Apart from ignorance and selfishness, which we can expand a bit more, unresolved issues. And I think this is even a big one, which we could have easily forgotten to highlight. Unresolved issues, harboring. That's why you can be in a home, you are screaming and you are quarreling, you are doing all these things and you are pouting. Some of you are pouting, some of you are shouting. And you hear the door, you go and you straighten your faces and you go, hello, how are you? And you smile for each other. Then when you come back again, because the issues were not resolved, you again start being rude to one another. So unresolved issues. Couples, we're going to talk about these things again on their own, but we know what unresolved issues can do. They are detrimental to a loving relationship. They are a blindfold to the love that we've been talking about. The unconditional love which should freely flow between husband and wife, and maybe families as well, and friends.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Frida, for that.
So how can we be more loving and less rude? How can we come across as? I think the first thing is the biblical golden rule. which is
Do unto others.
do unto others what you'd have them do unto you.
Yeah.
So if I want to be treated respectfully, I must treat her with respect.
Yeah.
If I don't want to be interrupted when I'm having a conversation with my friends, I should not go and interrupt when she's having a conversation with the friends. So it's just that simple. So treat your spouse as you would have them treat you. The second thing is just being considerate of your spouse. So be considerate to your spouse as you are to your friends, your colleagues, because it's a lot more easier to be considerate to our friends, our work colleagues, and strangers. We are considerate. And the big one, our pastors.
Yes, yeah, true. Pastor Anthony.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the way we treat our pastor is the way we need to treat our spouse.
Yes.
And I don't mean the husband.
Yeah.
In this case, I mean either wife or husband. The way, just think about the way we treat our pastors.
Yes.
With a lot of consideration.
Yes.
We can bend. We can drop everything and attend to our pastor. So the same way is the way that we need to be, thinking about our spouse. And like we said, ask your spouse.
Yeah.
How you should behave.
Yeah.
Like she's the one that
Blame
told
the
me.
cultures.
She kept on telling me.
Yeah.
Can you move a chair, please? Can you move a chair?
Yeah.
I picked it. I move a chair. Can you take the coat, please? Can you take the coat?
Can you help me? Yes.
And then
Communication as well.
I do it. And obviously that's also another way that love is communicated. So I think we'll talk about it when we come to
communication.
The love languages. I think that's where we'll talk about this type of thing. But it's simply, your spouse saying, "Oh, this is the way I like to be treated."
Yeah. And I think one of the things on this one is women, we like hiding we want our husbands, that's me, maybe not all of you, that's just me. I want Adrian to do something for me, but I want him to guess. It's like I want him to surprise me that he has done something. And when he's not doing it, I am so upset and I'm boiling inside me. He doesn't do it. So if I don't remind him, he won't know. So sometimes, like we have said, ask each other, how would you want this to be done? How can I do it? Or do this for me. Then they will learn and they will do it. So let's learn to communicate how we want things to be done and build on.
It's simple as that. So if someone is coming across as rude, just tell them, "Oh, I don't like the way you do this and that. I would love you to do it this way.
I don't like the way you speak to me. I don't like the way you act.
If you can do it this way, I think it will." And the more we talk, the more we make adjustments, then the more we begin to get along. And so last week we talked about cherish.
Yes.
And I think that is the one that we can just try and slot in there. So we said, when we promised, we said, "I will love you, I will love and cherish you."
Yes.
And obviously we defined cherish. We talked about, we won't go talking about it, but we said we cherish something that we value.
Yes.
Something that's so close to our heart. That's the thing that we cherish. So when it comes to love not being rude, and and cherishing, to cherish someone is to, like we said, is to be bold, to be proud of.
Yeah, to be proud of them. Like in this case.
Yeah.
In this case, when we are saying that we want, instead of being rude, you need to cherish. We look from Song of Songs chapter 2 verse 14.
Yeah.
You are talking nicely about this person. You are nice things that will build them. Things that will build their value.
Yes.
Things that will not be detrimental to their well-being, to their self-esteem. So you wake up, like Song of Songs says, your voice is so sweet. And your face is so lovely. We are saying things that are going to add value, things that are going to
build, things that are going to give. Instead of taking away the self-esteem from your spouse, it adds to their self-esteem. It gives them so much confidence, when you compliment them.
Yeah.
Like saying, like, "You're looking really nice today."
I like it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So it's things like that, you compliment.
Yeah.
And these things that especially for me, I'm sharing these things. Growing up, we didn't grow up with role models, you
No.
know, people that we saw do
No.
these kinds of things. So these are some of the things that, you know,
We
I
learn.
have been able to learn
Yeah.
as we have gone. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had enough time, 22 years.
Yes, yeah,
I
next
have,
month, yeah.
it's been 22 years to learn some
Yeah.
of these things, you know, to complement and, you know, to build, to add value, to, you know, to encourage and all that. So let's try and, you know, instead of being rude to our spouse, instead of making sarcastic comments,
Yeah.
instead of, you know, demeaning them,
Yeah.
let's try and add value to our
Yes,
spouses.
yes.
Let's say things that are positive.
And
Let's,
let's
you know,
cherish.
and let's cherish them. Let's,
Yeah.
you know, let's boast about them, like we said. Let's
Yes.
boast about our
Yeah.
spouses.
Yeah.
Let's speak loudly about them.
Yes.
You know, let's boast about how intelligent they
yeah.
are. You know,
How good
and
they
you know
look.
how good they look. You know, like she's very clever. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of her.
Yes,
You know,
yeah,
very
thank you.
intelligent.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. You're so cool. You're so
Yeah,
patient.
so-
You are kind. Yeah, thank you
so
so
that's
much.
what it means, you know, when we say love is not rude, but love should, you know, come across in manners, in word, and in everything. So brothers, men, I was thinking that maybe we can let's try and inspire one another.
Yes.
Brothers, let's try and inspire one
saying,
another.
Papa Antuka kiss.
Oh,
You know, there's sorry, I used our language. Thank God for our language. Someone
Yeah.
is saying, wow,
No,
you are kissing in
when,
public.
yeah, when we
He's
were
joking,
growing up,
obviously,
yes,
yeah.
when we were growing up, they said to us, no, don't do those things in public.
That's been
So
rude.
that's what someone is saying. That's being rude. Yes.
Adrian. Kissing in public. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. I've got something for the men.
Okay.
So men, let's have a conversation. So brothers, if you have been opening, and I know of course we have people that are watching us right now, and I'm also aware that there will be those that are going to listen to this, and if you are listening to it and it's not live and you are a man, here is my challenge to you. If you have a car, obviously, and you haven't been opening the door for your spouse, could you just comment there and just say, I have not. I mean, if you
Leave them alone, please.
okay, no, if you have, just comment there and say, I have. Now, the whole thing is, let's try and inspire one another. We are not embarrassing one another. We are not trying to make a fool of each other. No, we just want to encourage one another.
Yeah, let them start.
And by doing that, now obviously we've done this discreetly and so on. But let's make it fun. Let's just let's just say, I haven't. I'm looking to do this, or I have done. I'm looking to improve.
Yes.
And there's no shame in that.
Of course.
Because the moment that becomes a habit, she will love you for it.
Oh, good.
She will be amazed. She will love it. So that's the challenge. I hope, brothers, we are still friends. I hope we'll be able to come and have a conversation again next week. So thank you so much. I'll leave it to you. Yeah,
thank you so much for everyone. Thank you, sweetheart, for taking on this. Thank you so much for everyone that joined in. We really, really appreciate your time. We've gone over the time as usual, which is okay, not okay. Yeah, thank you, and God bless you. God keep you. Keep cherishing one another. Keep being patient. Keep being kind. Keep boasting, like we have said.
Yeah.
These things, they look like they are little things that we do for each other, but they are the ones that add value. They are the ones that keep the marriage. Rome was not built in one day. It was built in little steps. So the little steps that we are going to do for one another, if we keep up, our marriages will continue being stronger. We won't be envious of other people's marriages. We won't be envious of other people's spouses, but we will value our marriages. So thank you so much. God bless you. God keep you. God watch over your affairs and perfect everything that concerns you. In Jesus' name, may the Lord bless you. Thank you.
Amen.